Yo, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of our series where we give feedback on the maps, trying to make them a bit more ready. The devs have made it abundantly clear. I've said all this in episode 1, so if you want to go and see like the full thing, I'm going to quickly touch on it right now, but if you want to see the full explanation of the series, episode 1, the Storm Point is the way to go. But basically, the devs have made it abundantly clear that they were trying to make every map competitively viable. So they've done a pretty decent job with Olympus, with the new Olympus, but I obviously had some improvements to suggest, and therefore episode 2 is happening. And so if you are interested in what I had to say about that map, be sure to go and watch that one as well. Today, episode 3, we are covering Kings Canyon. Just to go through a couple things, we can't use the ALGS mode in this one for Kings Canyon because it doesn't have one. So we will be using trios. I was going to use duos because then it was cut down on me loading in time. But the game mode variant where when we don't have no ring, you can't do in duos. It's just the standard duos mode where you would have a ring and everything. And I need it to not have a ring so that I can go around the map and show you all the spots and not be restricted by the ring. So with that all out of the way, as I said, we're covering Kings Canyon today. With that all out of the way and a little bit of an introduction to the video, I will see you when we are in there. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, we are loading in, and as you can see at the top, it says I'm dropping at containment. So there is clearly the ALGS system there within the game. It's just not under the ALGS option in the settings menu. So yeah, when we're actually in, I'll bring you back. So we're actually in now, and as you can see, we are jumping from a dropship. So this kind of works out because one of the things I want to cover is actually not too far from containment. So first things first, this area here. Now, if anybody's played Ranked on PC for any extended period of time in the recent metas, if you will, where it's been highly mobile characters, you know that trying to get through here if you don't have a highly mobile character, for whatever reason, is a pain. You have people coming up from like this direction, like let's say the ring is over here, right? Have people coming up from this direction, you're coming from this direction. If there's a team holding you here, for example, well, that's what I'm saying is like you'll go this way. You'll have teams coming in from cage. Obviously there's going to be teams like holding you. So my suggestion is a two-pronged suggestion, because I do believe, if I'm remembering correctly, in terms of we knew the ALGS system. I knew the ALGS system worked for PC. I just didn't know whether they had ALGS like rule set in the menu. I'm pretty sure this is also a landing spot, right? So my suggestion is we move this compound here. These two, like there's a one building and then there's a compound of like two buildings and some of these little outhouses here, right? We move this closer to this cliff edge here, right? And then we have a little cave that comes through from here this way. So literally the cave would come out basically right here, okay? I think it would work pretty darn well. They might have to move the flags around a bit, maybe put them here, but that's no biggie, realistically. In terms of like the aesthetic of the map, right? Like it might be a biggie in actual designing and moving of it, but again, I've reiterated this in the past episodes. I'm not an actual map designer. I've never dev'd a game in my life. So I couldn't tell you how easy it is to do anything that I'm suggesting. But I'm making these suggestions in the hopes that those who do know how to do it can go, actually, yeah, do you know what? That's a good idea. Let's do that. So, and with this, I'm also proposing that this choke down here, this one here,
We should cruise over there.
gets like covered up. You can keep this high ground.
Wings out.
Maybe like unify this whole high ground to be all the way over to there. So if you're for some reason playing like a Pathfinder, you can zip up here, or if you are playing a Valk and you fly from like containment, you can pretend. I don't know if it's possible. I can't remember. It should be possible, I think. Or even you have an evac, you can like evac up and use this as a shortcut. But or even just cover the whole thing, like make it this wall here. And this choke over here, I feel like needs to be a bit wider. I'm forever in ranked getting stuck in this choke, where people are just hiding like behind the cars. If you're coming this way, they'll hide like in the little rat spots, like on either side. And honestly, it's a pain. But if we look at this area here, yeah, okay, we've got the bones of the Leviathans or whatever. We flatten it out a bit. Put the buildings here somewhere. And then basically behind a huge tree, like in this corner,
Cruise over here.
boom, a little cave that goes through diagonally to where we were stood earlier.
That quadrant.
Whilst we're like looking at things on the map, KC also struggles from the problem that Olympus struggles from, that we covered in the last video, which is that POIs are just way too close together. The amount of times you'll land map room and repulsor is looted a little bit and then sat up on top of this wall, just looking down on you, and you basically have no choice but to go towards caustic treatment. And if caustic treatment doesn't fully loot and decides, you know what, we're also going to just like loot the outskirts and then head to map room because, I don't know, map room is better. They think map room is better loot for whatever reason. Then guess what? They're just sat here waiting for you as well. So your choices are try and come to 82, which, you know, of course it can just dip up once they see you rotating across the hillside. Or try and take care of repulsor, like bait repulsor into pushing you, which even then, if caustic is waiting for you, they can just zip up and third party you, right? So I don't know how they would fix it, but honestly, these two POIs, especially having high ground on surrounding POIs, like Hydro Dam does it with swamps sometimes as well. The amount of times I've spawned, been a sniper arsenal spawn at Hydro and I've landed there, and I've just got a charge rifle and I'm just looking down at swamps the entire time that my teammates are looting is insane. Labs obviously has the capacitor problem, and swamps, and cage. Cage and Hydro also share this little like cut through here, which is also sometimes a problem. I like the little cut through, but I just wish there was another way of getting out, so that if you start, like, let's say Hydro starts a fight with the cage, and they're stalling out in this area here, and neither team looks like they're winning, you want to back off, and you try to back off into Hydro. If swamps or repulsor or labs have come over to you to see what's happening, you can't get out. Like, you're basically dead. You know what I mean? Yes, there's the little room in here you can try and hold up in, but it's really hard. But overall, same problem as Olympus. POIs are just too close together. You start a fight with one, the others are going to come over, and people in ranked definitely are just going to run at any shots. So that's what makes it really bad as a map for ranked. So with that part out of the way, we're next going to cover what I wanted to cover in Basin. So I'll bring you back when we're over there. Alrighty then, so here we are at Basin, and for those of you that might be newer to Apex, you might not remember that in earlier versions of Kings Canyon, there used to be a building that was like slightly off the map. The only way to access it was through a zip line. I can't remember when it came in, but I have played it in a like a throwback event where they put the season 1 and season 0 KC. I think it was season 0 KC actually, but it might have been a different one. And season 3's World's Edge into pubs just for people to play. It was a takeover event. My suggestion for Basin is, like, can we get rid of maybe these buildings over here, right? Maybe on the bridge as well, get rid of the pills, like some of the loot, and spread it out a bit more up here where it's like actually Basin. Because the amount of times I've had teammates who have, let's be real, right? Like ranked players who don't think about efficiency the most will land on you if they feel like their loot is going to be better where they want. You know what I mean? Like if they land here and they always land on this building, then you land on this building, they're going to land on you. And, you know, maybe you swerve off, you go to another building, but I've had a amount of people, I've gone over there, I've like looted this, and then I've pinged something for them, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I want that, and go over, and then Rig has just literally like looted this building, the middle, and then a couple pills that are here, and then they come up the bridge. My team just die. Like, well, what am I supposed to do? I really can't help you from here. You know what I mean? So, also, like, this whole back area here and over there, like, can we make use of the space? I've had zones that have ended, you know, in this area over here, where my where my queue is, and then I've also had zones that have like ended right here on the edge of this cliff. Like, even if it's just a little like outhouse building like this, dotted around, or one of the, like, let's say you put one of these buildings up on the top there, and then you put a couple of them outhouse buildings like here and here, like just a bit more playable space. You know what I mean? Like, it would be pretty cool. Try and have more team. Like, obviously they can't help players not coexisting, but try and like not enforce it, but try and make it viable to coexist. If that makes sense. And that's definitely what will make the map a bit more viable. That space over there, like, I've had a zone that ended like here, or it might have been a bit further over here actually. But either way, like, besides if the zone pulls over there, what is my point for going over there? Like, what does this part of the map exist for? Me to get angles on Rig? Like, timings typically don't work like that. Yeah. despite where it is located on the map, Basin is, in my opinion, it's more of a zone-orientated POI. Like, you want to loot this quick and then just, like, get the hell out of here. You want to loot it quick, then loot, like, this compound over here, and then head to wherever zone might be, whether it's towards artillery or down towards cage, whatever it is. Try and avoid Lassiter as well, or like, unless you can like shoot down on them. But yeah, I will bring you back on when we're at the next section, which will be crash site actually. But yeah, summary of Basin. Use the space at the back, like make a couple buildings or something for us to use as playable. Hell, even throw another, like, move the explosive hold over there if it needs to be. Move that explosive hold up here if that's something that the devs think will make it a bit more viable. Like, just needs something to make it so that we want to go up there. Anyway, we'll be back in a moment. Alrighty then, we're coming into Clash Site now. As you can see, I'm using the balloons to get around the map as well as my ult. So, my main thing with Crash Site is essentially make this inside section 2 floors. Right? Like at the back here somewhere, probably where this wet part, as I call them, is. Like here, just put a zip line straight down, right? And I'll show you why. I had a ring that ended basically here. Like, in fact, no, it ended inside the middle, right? If I'm trying to play down here because this team's up there, I physically can't, like, get up there, right? I have to go up through the zip and stuff. And let's say zone is cutting this off. I'm taking so much damage before I even get up here, and then they're watching this ramp. I'm just dead. Like, I might as well just die to zone. You know what I mean? But we were playing down here. We killed a team back here. This base back here, by the way, doesn't get used nearly enough. So I feel like they could encourage using this space with something like there's a couple. I think there's a couple of explosive holds in this POI. Oh, what do you know? One of them's right here. But yeah, one down there, and then if I remember correctly, there's also one that we flew over. Did we fly over one over there? I can't remember. Either way, can we use one of them? Probably better to be like this one that's up top here. Put it just back there. Encourage people to like actually go over there. Oh no, we didn't fly over one. Okay, for some reason I thought there was an explosive hold like here.
We should cruise over there.
But clearly I was mistaken. But either way, yeah, can we make it so that this like back area here is a bit more like used? Okay, why can I not climb there? Hello? Okay. Why does it feel like, yeah, there's an invisible wall. Okay. Right. Well, that needs sorting. But yeah, make this back area a bit more usable. Give the bottom area a couple of entrances. You don't even have to like change this here and then put an entrance in the middle, like this side of the rocket, the ship even, like it is up top. Put it on the back. That gives us another reason to go around there. You know, you're playing here, trying to get in, and there's a team already holding it. Okay, you guys play there. Let me just flank around this side. Do you know what I mean? See if we can get in that way. There's so much they could do with this bottom area as well. Hell, there might even be enough space for multiple floors, you know? You could do your bottom floor, then another floor, and then the floor that currently exists. But it was just really annoying. The last time KC was in rotation, we had a zone that literally ended up here, like right here. And we couldn't do nothing because we're stuck down below. So make a law reason if needs be that with them not being able to move the crashed ship, they decided to remove the pipes and stuff that would be used elsewhere. I don't know, but like that's beside the point. We're gonna move on now to our next destination. So yeah, I'll bring you back when we're over there. Alright, my next destination is actually like the no-name outside of bunker. But I know Runoff is one of the OG POIs of KC. So if there ever is any map changes, it has a chance of getting changed. Pull this whole POI backwards. Like, honestly. The amount of times in ranked you will just get ran at by either Spotted Lake coming up here.
Let's nix that last part.
Or hit as well. Like, yeah, airbase can cross as well in the open over here, but like, just pull the POI backwards a bit. Like, whatever replaces it, if it gets replaced, pull it back, merge it in with this little compound at the back here. Happy days, you know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, when we're over on bunker, I'll bring you back. Really, it's more specifically to do with this, like, no-name, is there a way for me to check? I'm pretty sure when there was a arenas map, this was called Hillside. I don't know if that's right, but I've always called this Hillside, where we were earlier. Either way, right? I feel like, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the ship, dropship for bunker is on this side.
We should maneuver to that area.
I feel like the ship should be on this side, right? Where we are now. And this whole no-name should be moved, like, I don't know, change it a bit, whatever reason, whatever, like, law reason or whatever they come up with to change it. Bring it closer to bunker, and then literally make it like bunker's part of the bunker POI. Because let's say you drop bunker, you fly in here, and let's say you split on this side. One loots here, one loots here, one loots the actual bunker. Well, guess what? The other two still have to come through bunker to get like more loot, if that makes sense. And yeah, okay, you could argue, well, you would have the same thing on the other side. Well, there's more buildings in this area than there is here, right? Like, yes, okay, you've got the two arsenals versus the one here, but it's a bit more, what's the word? A bit more manageable in terms of divvying up the loot to all your team. Plus, you could just have one guy who, like, I don't know, maybe he flies in to the bunker with the bunker guy, grabs one pill. Well, he would be shit out of luck with this pill, Jesus. And then he's got one gun, and then he, you know, runs through and starts looting this. Because at the moment, containment will just walk up, take your building if you're not already sat there, and Hillside will just, as I said, I call this Hillside, will just walk down. And then also it will make sense why I'm saying we should have the dropship this side when we get onto market, because there's a couple things to do with this cave that I want to, and like entrances into market that I want to suggest changes to as well. But that is covering, that's basically what I'm saying about bunker. Just incorporate the no name a bit more into the bunker POI, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm gonna grab this Evo and then I'll bring you back when we're at our next destination, which will be Gauntlet. Alrighty then, we're entering Gauntlet right now. Now, obviously, this is a Octane's playground, right? It is town takeover. And I'm not suggesting that we get rid of Gauntlet or change it in any way. I just feel like it is a little too close to the old school town, or Relic, as it's now called. So I'm proposing we shift the whole POI back a bit to about here, right? And yeah, okay, the zip line from airbase, and like that should stay. Maybe put another like building, one of these no name buildings over there as a cover or whatever. But yeah, I'm basically saying let's move this POI back like into this area. One of the things I've got on my map of, oh okay, let you know, cover this in the video, is to do with Relic, and I feel like we need a zip line like escape from here. You know what I mean? Like not literally from that one, but like on the other side as well. I feel like there should be a zip line going over to this, in this direction. Make it a bit more pushable from like caustic side. And then the same thing on here. You could, you know, put a zip across to Gauntlet. And like that's one thing I love about the KC for wildcard KC is all the zip lines and zip rails around this back area here. Like it makes it so much more fun playing this back area than just getting stuck between like going through the pipe or two doors. You know what I mean? So yeah, without further ado, let's move on. I do feel like the map is a bit misleading because it says there's a choke over here, which is where I want to put the zip line from here to here. Is there actually a choke here? I don't remember there actually being one. No, there isn't. See? There isn't one. I would also put like a choke through this rock somewhere. That's the bunker from... Or is that the bunker? I don't know which one's the bunker, but either way. With that out of the way, let's cover Market, which is our final destination. All right, I see I'm on top of the Market building. I actually kind of like the fighting in the market itself. Sometimes it can be a bit of a issue playing inside. Like let's say you've got a caustic team just holding these little little rooms inside. It can be quite annoying, but you know, it's part of the game to work out how to beat them. If that makes sense. I personally miss the old KC where there was a cut through here.
We can scan this area
into the cave, right? Now, what I'm not suggesting is we move this cut through back here over here. What I am suggesting is we get rid of this throughway and we make a throughway here that would come out next to the building on the other side. Right? In fact, you know what? We'll fly over real quick. So it would basically just go straight through and it would come out here. Like, where basically right next to the building, like I said, right? And then, what I'm also proposing as part of that change is we block up this big area of cave here from this entrance, basically, all the way back to the entrance
We should cruise
here
there.
where that goes to market, and we bring back the cave through here.
Let's scan this area.
That was in earlier iterations of Kings Canyon, which is also part of why I said the bunker dropship should be on this side, right? Because then they can't just fly, loot a couple of buildings, and then push market in. I mean, Cage might be able to do it. You could fly, loot this building, loot this building, loot this building, push through. But by that point, realistically, market should be all looted, in my opinion. Whereas it would be a bit easier for bunker if the ship was on this side. They could just fly, loot this building, grab something from the arsenal, whatever arsenal it was, loot this building as well. So like you get one there, one on the arsenal, boom, and then through. That makes sense. But yeah, that's my pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. We've covered everything I have on my list of things. I feel like Octane's gauntlet needs to be moved a bit further back over here. I could barely like show you from the height that we had because I had the timer. We could then argue if it's moved slightly further away that there should be a zip escape from here. I'm not saying they should put a zip over here because I don't think that would make sense. You'd have to put a zip rail, and I feel like it's all well and good zip rails being on the wildcard Kings Canyon, but I don't think it makes sense for base Kings Canyon. And then same with over here, just as a kind of like symmetrical thing, either put a zip straight across or over here, and then where the map says there is a choke, which there isn't, put a choke, right? Like, so it's a bit more playable around these rocks. Maybe bring this part of the map down a bit. So it's a bit more like this area here, where there is the choke through, but you can play around and go up the caustic from this back angle here. Again, more playable space, more holdable space in the terms of like the buildings back here on basin that I suggested, as well as the crash site, like a couple of floors, giving more like loot generally to a POI, because like as it stands right now, I'm pretty sure airbase could probably beat bunker to this area. Same with runoff. I'm pretty sure if they wanted to, these two could just fly and race to this area and loot it and then fight bunker off when they come. Which in my opinion, in a comp setting doesn't make any sense. And you could argue, oh well, if the ship is on this side for bunker, they will fight. Okay, maybe. But on this side, it's the same thing with containment and like the hillside. And in fact, I would say hillside's more inclined to do it just because of the lack of loot that they do have. They will just get what they can and come over and try and surprise bunker. And as they have this high ground, and then there is a zip across from the high ground to this building, they can do it pretty well, depending on the legend choices and how efficient bunker is at like getting to hold this space. But yeah, with that all out of the way, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions to make yourself, be sure to leave them in the comment section. Who knows, devs might read it. I am posting these in the Creator Hub, Discord, and the devs have access. So they may take any one of my suggestions, they may take your suggestions from the comments and use them. And that might be a pretty cool thing for you to say to your friends. Hey, look, I made this suggestion in a comment, and the devs actually used it. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, please like the video as well. That helps out with the algorithm so more people can see the video. And yeah, without further ado, we'll see you on the next one, which will probably be Broken Moon. Now I'm thinking about it. So yeah, we'll see you then. Peace.